It was a sizzling summer's day, and in this scorching heat, my grandmother says to me, "Do you fancy reading a book?" And I always did. I was 18 years old, and I had incredible luck that my grandmother, who was 60 years older than me, had this cultivated very strong relationship and bond with me since I was a child. Off we walked up the hill. The grass was melting how hot it was. And she had this special spot where she took me under a very old walnut tree. In its deep shade, we would put down a large blanket and sit down and feel the heat come through, but then this soft breeze that you can only feel in those long, endless summer days. And we would open up a book. She was an avid reader, but she loved and enjoyed so much listening to when I was reading her a story. So she brought one of her novels, and we set out reading. It was a ritual we followed. This was after my grandfather passed away and the life got a little quieter for her, and I was just finishing high school and preparing for university. And the wisdom we shared in those moments, the stories she told me of her own growing up and her own life, and how that reflected on my own way of thinking, was something truly magical to have had in my life. So it made me think today, as I was reminiscing through this, to remind you to search for friendships among people with different generations. My grandmother taught me that I could be friends with someone who is much older than I am. And I know in the future I will be able to cultivate those friendships with people who are younger than myself, because the wisdom and the reflection we offer each other are often something we cannot find simply in the friendships with our own generations. So treasure those connections and go exploring into a little bit wider and a different field.